immediately engaging in devotional service, actually the happiness is there from the moment. From the moment we engage, and then the harder we get, the more happiness is there in devotional service. That's it. That's so it's so easy. So why do anything else? That's Prahlad Maharaj's point. Why not just be intelligent, do it directly, immediately. Not even any indirect way or in the future or a slow way like that. Just do it. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. Just do it. That's all. And just live like that. That's what he's telling basically, he's telling his demon friends, we just stay brahmacharis. Although Prabhupada doesn't. He doesn't stay brahmachari. He's a grihastha because he's a king. He becomes a king. Maybe all the others do. But actually, this is what he's saying. Just let us stay simple as we are now. It doesn't become better. It doesn't become easier than the life we have now. Of course, the problem is we're living with our teachers are demons and now. But aside from that, we should just worship Krishna right here and just be happy. And why do anything? Why ever do anything else? And that's the point. There's no reason to do anything else. Krishna is always there. It's only when we think, now I want to have my own enjoyment and so on. And then life starts becoming complicated. And it's even in Krishna consciousness to kind of balance one's material life and spiritual life. It's a hard endeavor. It's complicated. Why do it? That's Prahlad Maharaj's point. It's there's no. I mean, if one chooses to keep one's life simple for one's lifetime, one doesn't lose anything. Rather, one gains everything, and one will always be taken care of. One will always get what is needed, and much more. And life will be exciting and interesting. That's another point. Somehow the Maya, she twists our mind around, or might think that but just to remain a simple devotee, just rendering devotional service all my life, I'll not be fulfilled. My emotional needs will not be fulfilled. My intellectual needs are not, the great potential I have within that it will not be unfolded, I'll not be utilized, all my capabilities and like that. And what an illusion, because material life is simply not inspiring. It's a treadmill. Is that English word, treadmill? You know what a treadmill is?
A treadmill?
A treadmill.
Treadmill?
Mill.
Mill like food?
No, mill. A treadmill. A mill is a machine that grinds flour. Okay. So a treadmill is you have to somehow or other power the treadmill. You can have of course now they have electric machines, or you can have water powering it, or you can have wind powering it, or you can have an animal or a man powering it. Then you have a treadmill, and you have someone in there walking, and drive. So I guess I never even seen it, but I guess they might have had some an ox or something like that, treading. But, or you can get a.
They have the ox. They walk around.
Yeah. So at least they have. So that can also be a treadmill. But I also think it's kind of the real one. You need a human for that problem. A monkey maybe, but a human is ideal. So you can
mice. For the small ones.
Could be mice. So actually, you step and it goes down, and you step up, and step up, and step up, and step. But that's material life. Material life is just a treadmill. You walk and you walk and you walk, and you don't go anywhere. And you're just being exploited. Someone else is taking advantage of your hard labor. But you don't get anything out of it. That's actually what material life is. It's not inspiring either. It's not thrilled. It's not. But actually, Krishna consciousness devotional service is really, it's adventure, it's a thrill, it's exciting, it's inspiring, it's you know, actually one makes a difference in the world. One develops incredibly like anything. I mean, it's. I know. I mean, I haven't developed anything really, but you know, still, I've been allowed to do some things in Krishna consciousness, and I mean, I wouldn't have had a chance to do that, develop those abilities, if I'd been outside of Krishna consciousness. Then it would have just been a rut, you know, a regular, you know, 7 to 4 job every day, and come back and you know, 1 week or 3 weeks vacation a year, and being frustrated because I had so many dreams I wanted to, you know, have, you know, lived and traveled and adventure and done make a difference in the world and like that, and I've just become old and frustrated. Well, I'm anyway an old, grumpy, frustrated person. That's not because of Krishna consciousness, but I can see that I'm allowed to do things that I could not imagine doing. You know, writing. I never could imagine writing, but I got a chance, and that's Krishna allows us to develop, you know, sides in us that we actually have. We all have many abilities within ourselves, and if we give ourselves to Krishna's service, just do what is necessary and adjust according to our life to Krishna's needs and like that, we will see there will be so much, you know, we will have such an interesting life, adventurous life. We will also develop incredibly, you know, so many abilities, so much, if one likes to travel, then one will get so many chances to travel. Although that's, or maybe one's austerity is not to travel, one will get a greater chance to actually perform, you know, austerities and develop in a deep way, and so on. One will get all one's needs fulfilled in Krishna consciousness. One should not, you know, not worry, and you can actually see those who actually are, you know, simply sticking to Krishna consciousness. I mean, and then compare to, I mean, an ordinary materialist where they're at, you know, it's a world of difference. It's a world of difference. We can get, so the point is, I mean, that it's easy to practice Krishna consciousness actually, and there will be no lack in our life. Krishna, you will supply everything, whatever we need, you know, material needs and spiritual needs and mental needs, emotional needs, and how to develop. And in the end, we go back to God. It will all be there. That's Prahlad Maharaj's real point. And that's and it's the easy thing to do. Why make life complicated for oneself when one can have an easy and interesting life in Krishna consciousness? Well, of course, Maya has many pitfalls for us, and Maya has many, and that's part of always being in Krishna consciousness. One has to be very, very vigilant against Maya. It's easy to practice Krishna consciousness, but it takes strong vigilance because Maya comes in this form, that form, and presents herself even in a way that even looks like Krishna conscious, but actually it's not Krishna conscious. It's not for Krishna, and she can drag us away. So one has to be. One devotee always used to say one had to be like a, I don't know, I haven't seen a cowboy movie for many years, but I'm not even sure if do they still exist?
What?
Cowboy movies, westerns.
Westerns.
Do they still make these movies?
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
But you know, I think so they do, but
rarely.
From this movie world.
Like 50s, 60s, and 70s. So there you have the hero, the John Wayne, riding on his horse, through, and so and he has his gun, and all the time he's there. He's he's always vigilant. He's riding. Once it's riding is simple, you just ride a horse, but you have your gun, and he's always, are there any enemies out there? So Krishna consciousness is like that. We always have to be vigilant, always ready to, is an enemy there, is Maya there, is hiding there. That says it like that. And that means we have to, as soon as the anartha is coming up, and like that, we have to understand these are anarthas. Pull them out. This is how Maya comes in. I came across an interesting list here. I mean, there's actually. I thought I want to share that with you because that's. These are some of the things one has to guard against. It's actually from Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita has so many instructions about life, and it's a devotion. I mean, it's actually a Vaishnava scripture, but it gets really into details of society and the varnas and ashramas and duties and relationship between varnas and ashramas and many. There's so much. It's actually very the book packed with knowledge, and here it's also. There's a section that talks about vices, vices which we could say is, sinful activities, anarthas, and so on, that one has to guard against. And it's things which can ruin our lives. There are, and the Manu Samhita here, he talks about vices springing from two sources. One is vices springing from love of pleasure, and another is vices springing from anger. Love of pleasure, I mean, it also means, it's more or less synonymous with sense enjoyment. But one is attached to enjoying. One loves to enjoy, and that's actually the vices that spring from that, evils that spring from that. They are 10 of them actually. It says hunting, gambling, sleeping by day, censoriousness, excess with women, drunkenness, an inordinate love for dancing, singing, and music, and useless travel. They are tenfold vices springing from love of pleasure, and they'll ruin one's wealth and health. One's life will be ruined. The vices springing from anger, they'll not only ruin the health and wealth, they'll destroy completely. They'll cause death and destruction. They are tale-bearing, violence, treachery, envy, slandering, seizure of property, reviling, and assault. And I'll go back to them because I think you don't understand all the words here. But they are actually quite interesting. First of all, you'll notice that in the vices coming from love of pleasure, did you notice 4 specific there? Maybe not. Hunting, gambling, excess with women, and drunkenness. 4 regulator principles. In other words, sometimes I heard at one point some devotees saying actually they're not really, it's something that Prabhupada he made up, the 4 regulated principles, so it's not that it's really not traditional or necessary like that. That is ignorance. It's in Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita has the 4 regulated principles. And of course they also, our acharyas are advocating 4 regulated principles. So hunting, but that means meat eating. Manu Samhita is written in a time when there was no slaughterhouses, so meat eaters, they had to go hunting. And gambling, actually, as far as the original is more like dice, it's throwing dice, but gambling that actually refers to gambling in general. And excess with women, illicit sex life, and drunkenness means all kinds of intoxication. Again, at the time of Manu Samhita, the intoxication was basically, they got drunk, but now there's so many other kinds of intoxications, and they are all included in there. So they actually, they spring from love and pleasure. One wants to be happy and enjoy, and And then on top of that there is okay, sleeping by day. I'm guilty of that one. But if you take a small, quick, Prabhupada called it snap, not a nap, but a snap. As far as this is not included, you can just like that. But if you go to bed late, get up late, sleep the whole day, that's a vice. Censoriousness, I looked up. I think that is being very judgmental of others, having big opinions about others, and you understand the word judgmental. You are very fault finding, critical, and like that. That's as far as I know, this is what censoriousness meant. Inordinate love for dancing, singing, and music. Of course, it does not apply to kirtan and singing and dancing in kirtan, but mundane singing and dancing, and even in devotional context, I'd say, if it gets to the point where actually the kirtan and the bhajan and the dancing becomes for its own sake, not for Krishna's pleasure or as a spiritual activity, but one becomes like becomes more into music and dancing for music and dancing's own sake. So that can be a problem there. Or useless travel. One likes to travel here, travel there, go there. Even within devotional context, going to this festival and that festival, and then in the wind, when it's and just like to go travel. That's a vice. That's actually an art. Sense enjoyment. And then of course here, the ones produced by anger, tale-bearing, as far as it means gossip, talking, gossip behind others, and like that. Violence, directly, treachery, yeah, you break, you're treacherous in your relationship with others. Slandering, slander, that means back talking behind someone. Unjust seizure of property. It's actually specifically directed to what Kshatriyas, these instructions here. So Kshatriyas sometimes they can take property from criminals, or they have right to tax and take some property, but they cannot take more than is just. And of course, for the rest of us, taking someone else's property is stealing. So stealing is also produced from anger, from wrath. Reviling. What was that meant? I think that's been critical of others. Fault finding, critical, revile. I forgot. I have to look at again the dictionary. I think that's the fault finding mentality. Finding pleasure, really enjoying looking for faults in others, and assault, direct. What's the difference between assault and violence? Actually, I'm not sure. I have it. But anyway, but there are these. Be aware of all these. That is the moral here. We have to find. This is how our natas they manifest. They come up like that, and its vices coming from this desire to enjoy, and the frustration that leads to anger when one cannot enjoy. All the vices, they spring from there. So that one has to guard against that. So one doesn't lose one's Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, because that again, the point is that is a simple life. That's an easy life. Why make life difficult for oneself? That's Prahlad Maharaj's simple point here in this verse. Okay, I tried to say something. I don't know if I did say something. Any questions?
this as an attachment to enjoyment, and then wrath, isn't it the mode of passion and mode of ignorance, basically, can be described?
Yeah, it is.
So what about the mode of goodness?
Mode of goodness, I mean, because material mode of goodness is tainted by passion and ignorance, but the mode of goodness itself is actually favorable for devotional service, Krishna consciousness, and actually when one gets completely, then it's pure, comes to a completely purified good mode of goodness. That's no different from Krishna consciousness. So, of course, mode of goodness has also its, it's just material mode of goodness itself is not enough. It also has its problems, and that's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, mainly that one becomes conditioned to happiness. One actually becomes happy, although it's not necessarily the goal, but it's still one is bound by happiness because one is acting correctly. Yeah.
Another point, please.
Okay. In any case, the process is that we should cultivate the mode of goodness. And from the mode of goodness, we should purify it and transcend it and come to Krishna consciousness. Mode of goodness is whatever has imperfections also. Pride can also come from mode of goodness. Although that's passion and ignorance, but one is proud, one is better than others, and one is too contaminated. But it's a favorable platform to progress further to pure goodness, and we should cultivate and encourage the mode of goodness. Being clean, being regulated, performing one's duty, not being attached to the result, but being attached to simply doing one's duty for the sake of pleasing the Supreme, like that. That's favorable. And
I just think that the balance in devotional service in English is like that it can be done in goodness and in passion, or passion. It's just like maybe this desire to enjoy devotional service somehow, or it's like all these things they come up, and they completely like disturb, and they confuse. One becomes confused when all these things flush over.
But it's not wrong to want to be happy in Krishna consciousness. If you want to be happy, then engage in Krishna consciousness and enjoy giving pleasure to Krishna, enjoy giving happiness to devotees. And when you feel happy, don't feel bad about it. Oh, I'm sinful now, I feel happy. That's not wrong. Actually, it's natural to feel happy, and it's not that we have to whip ourselves and feel remorse because now I'm feeling happy. That was the Christians' mistake. They thought that happiness is of the devil. It's not of the devil. It's sense enjoyment, but it's okay to be happy. Krishna is happy when we are happy. When his devotees are happy because of Krishna consciousness, then Krishna is happy. So we want Krishna's happiness, and if it makes him happy that we are happy, then we should be happy. That's one point. And in one sense, don't even worry about, let's worry about doing our service. And if we become happy or not happy, we should not even think about ourselves. It's something, it's a disturbance to think, am I happy, or it's wrong, I'm happy, or so on. It's like, when someone, and I feel, generally, just as formality makes ask, how are you doing, how are you feeling? And I always get bewildered when people ask me about that, because often I think, I haven't been thinking of that lately. And I don't think we should think about how we are feeling, actually. We should think about, how devotees are feeling, Prabhupada would be feeling, Krishna is feeling by what we're doing, and not think about ourselves. Now we have to stop here. It's already 4:09. Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.